What's up, guys? Welcome to the Film Fumblers podcast, where we fumble through your favorite films. And this month is Christmas month, guys. We're doing Home Alone today. I don't have the director in front of me, and my name is Taryn, and I'm joined by...
I'm Jay.
And James is here.
And let's take a shot, guys.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's do
jumping
it.
right in, huh?
It's a holiday cheer.
Cheers.
Holiday cheers.
Why am I grabbing this shot like that? I don't know.
See
why.
you all refreshed.
Look at me all refracted.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, mates.
Ooh. So the director is Chris Columbus,
I should
not to be
remember that.
confused with the
The genocidal crazy guy.
yeah.
The man who discovered the mans. Whew.
Yeah. So Home Alone. I assume everybody's seen this before.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Of course.
This is definitely an interesting movie, like when you look at its cast today, and it probably was back then too. Like Joe Pesci being in a family movie sounds weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Macaulay Culkin. I don't had he done things before this? Does anybody know?
I don't think so. I mean, he's
don't
like
know.
so young that I wouldn't believe it. I mean, like
Yeah,
I would.
super young.
Yeah.
Could be a debut. John Williams doing the music.
Oh,
That I didn't know until this.
Yeah.
This shit, that man. Once the music hits, you already kind of know it's John Williams. After you listen to a lot of his stuff, like you're like, a lot of it sounds the same because like a lot of the melodies play through. Like a lot of his, like you're like, oh, that's definitely John Williams because
Yeah,
just
he
his
definitely has that
style.
style.
Yeah, dude.
But
I
man,
think
it's so good though. It's so good.
oh yeah, he's probably safely in the Fumblerverse now.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me the biggest surprise was Joe Pesci, just because like he comes from these gangster movie backgrounds basically, and
Mm-hmm.
seemed like a little bit of a 180, almost to the point where I was like, is this where his career started turning? He's not getting these like more interesting roles. But then this movie blew up, right? Like this is one of the
Probably his most known, right? Maybe.
yeah, it's one of the biggest. So the box office was like 400 and something million, but I was watching this documentary today, and they're talking about how over the years, like the movie has basically amassed, like almost $1 billion, if not $1 billion,
Yeah.
which is insane.
That's crazy.
And the starting budget was like 14 million. It was just like, hey, go make a holiday movie, let's see what happens, type of thing. And oh no, it was 12 million. And then they ended up spending 14, and the studio, Warner Brothers, was just like, nope, you bring it down to 13 or we're just gonna stop the movie right here. And they
Yeah.
did. They gave them one day to turn it around. Obviously they didn't. And they were like, okay, the movie's over. Like, pack up and go home, basically.
Wow.
And
Holy fuck.
one of the dudes, I think John Hughes, the guy that wrote it, he had a friend at Fox, and the guy at Fox was like, what's the movie even about? And he told him, and he was like, that sounds like a great movie. We'll make it for that extra 1 million. That's like basically nothing, right? In the movie world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they just took it, like saved the movie, and then it blew up huge. And Warner Brothers was
They're
like,
happy
well,
about that shit.
yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Think about all the TV licensing they've done. This shit's probably on, like, at any point you could go to like some channel and it's on probably like during this whole month, right?
Right.
I probably get so
Yeah.
much money from that.
And that number is so weird because of the people who are in this movie, like Joe Pesci, John Candy randomly is in
I
it.
forgot about
And so
Who's that? Is that the ska
he's the
dude?
polka guy.
that.
The polka guy? Yeah.
Yeah. So
That is
apparently
weird.
they were friends, him and that writer, and he did that as like a favor. So he made less money than the pizza guy did
Oh
on the
shit.
movie. And he stuck him there for 23 hours. They had a 23-hour shoot day. And by the end, apparently, John Candy was like, what the fuck, man? Like, this needs to stop. But
So I saw something that John Candy, his character, is basically a character that he is in a different movie. You guys see this? Or am I pulling this out of my fucking ass?
I did not see that.
Okay. I didn't research it, but I just remember that right now. So I guess we'll move past it because I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. A lot of his lines were just improvised, apparently.
Not really.
But almost nothing else was, and the dude was a real stickler about that.
Hmm.
Huh.
But yeah, which is like another weird thing. But so, you know, I feel like I'm just spewing all the shit I know about this movie out right at the beginning. But the dude who wrote this has written other really crazy like 80s movies that are staples, like The Breakfast Club and
Was it written
uh
by Christopher Columbus?
no,
Or who's
it was written by John Hughes.
okay?
Oh.
So he wrote The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, Planes, Trains, and
Oh.
Automobiles,
Holy
and
shit.
directed a lot of these. And so
Mhm.
because he was doing so many movies, basically, he needed to find somebody to direct this. And so he told Chris Columbus, who had also written movies like The Goonies and Gremlins, he was like, just give it a shot and make this movie, basically.
Huh.
But
Damn, this
yeah,
dude must have like the secret formula
that's what a lot of people thought.
to like just like classic movies.
Right. Yeah, he's made quite a few. And they're all like really defining and yeah, super like timeless and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's in some ways a lot of people kind of knew that this was a good gamble to make this
Yeah.
movie. But I don't think anybody knew it would blow up the way it did.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And then Catherine O'Hara is the mom.
Yeah.
I never recognized her, but like now she's popular again because of a show called Schitt's Creek. She's in that.
Oh, that is her.
Yeah, seeing her in
Wow.
this, I recognized her. I was like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
She was in
Hmm.
Beetlejuice too.
Yeah. Really
Yeah,
cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a stacked
But
cast for sure.
yeah, there was a lot of like things of the times that I thought were funny, like when he's like, "Go pick up your micro machines," which I think were like basically Hot Wheels, right?
Yeah, it was like the
Like the
other
precursor.
Mm.
competitor.
Competitor?
Thank you.
But it made me think of like, what are we gonna, see 20
Yeah.
years from now, or when was this movie made? 90?
90. 30
30
years.
years from now?
Oh wow, nice.
30
People will
year
be like,
anniversary.
get your iPad and look at this or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's like
wonder-
there's like that kind of stuff like the other old movie that had like the same kind of thing was that Under Wraps movie
Oh yeah.
or
The flip
like
phones.
yeah, like Bulls Mania, man. Michael Jordan and
Yeah.
Dennis
Oh,
Rodman
yeah.
like
that costume, that was good.
little stuff, yeah.
Dude, speaking of under wraps, the guy who plays Santa in this movie that like Macaulay Culkin talks to,
Yeah.
is the nerd friend, the comic book store guy from Under Wraps.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was like, that looks
Holy
like
crap.
knockoff fucking what's his face? You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had
It's
to
all
look it up.
connected.
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of insane.
That's small Fumbler verse. Small world. Wow, that guy's part of the Fumblers now, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome
What's his
aboard.
name? Does anybody know?
That's
Yeah,
so weird.
The thing that I thought was pretty good about this movie, I think overall, is that the comedy worked on a lot of levels for a lot of different reasons to a lot of different people,
Sure.
Like I think that the intro was actually really funny. You meet Kevin and you see that he's kind of a shithead, but maybe not so bad, but he's just the young one or whatever. And it's just like this crazy chaotic scene, and the whole time a cop is just standing in your house, just like trying to talk to
Yeah, it's so
anyone,
weird.
And that reminded me of, because I think Jordan and I watched this together, and there's at one point she was like, "How would a cop just be in your house?" And I was thinking of that one party at Frankie's house for his 18th birthday. We all turn and look, and there's just literally a cop standing in the house that we were partying in for like 10 minutes straight.
I had left early that night. I knew something was afoot.
Yeah,
It was actually me. It was actually me.
Oh
Yo,
my
there's
God.
this party going on.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
But
That's so funny.
Yeah, overall, like, like I was saying, the comedy appealing to a bunch of different people. Like, there's funny stuff that Kevin does. There's the like cartoon-esque robbers that everything that happens to them is like supposed to be funny in like a Looney Tunes kind of way.
Yeah.
And then it has like a feel-good piece. I guess looking at it like that, it's like there's no way this movie would have failed, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, it,
That's
it
true.
has that like archetype though. Like it's like
Yeah.
it feels like every movie in the 90s is like this in a way. Like there's that scary neighbor. Like what is up with like the creepy neighbors in the
Yeah.
90s? Like wasn't that in another movie we watched? Like or stay
Under
away
Wraps,
from that
wasn't
guy.
it?
Was it Under Wraps? I don't. Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
thought. And like it just like they all like felt like the same kind of movie. I'm like, I've seen
Yeah.
this before.
Yeah, where it's like,
And I don't know if like this was like the first one to do that, but I'm like, man, these just like just feels like that's the mold and like everybody's copied it. It's something around there. It's just like all the same flavor.
yeah,
Kinda
it's
weird.
like, it reminds me of like 80s movies. Like Ferris Bueller is a good touchstone because it's like super like unrealistic, crazy shit happens, but like everyone like kind of rubs it off as like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, like, I don't know, just
Yeah.
super dangerous shit or whatever, and they're just like, oh, we did it, whatever,
It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
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 And it's just feel good most of the time. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
The yeah, to kind of touch on what you said, James, about the creepy guy, I thought that they did a really cool job of showing like things from the younger perspective, like the furnace in the basement, when they would go cut to these like essentially horror shots of like, you know, crazy screaming and or whatever, noises and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like the old neighbor guy was supposed to be a little bit like that, like appear scary, even though he might not be.
Yeah.
But the way that they portrayed is like actually pretty scary. Like it's not afraid to dive into these different, or I guess pull from these different genres in that
Yeah.
way, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so bouncing off of that, so like we see like the crazy furnace having a mouth and stuff like that. Is this a narrative from Kevin's perspective the entire movie? Like cuz like you were saying in the beginning of the movie like it's fun to see all that kind of stuff. But I was like generally annoyed with everybody. Like I'm like everyone here fucking sucks. Kevin's a little shithead, and his parents and his family fucking suck too.
His
I'm like
uncle, dude?
everyone
Jesus.
sucks. Like
Yeah.
they're like the kid, you're a disease. I'm like Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
Like fuck.
It's like hashtag fuck Frank, dude.
Yeah.
That
And
guy's
like
such a
and,
dick.
yeah, like is it Kevin's like
It's
kids
exaggerated for him.
tend to exaggerate, like, or
Sure.
are those people actually shitty?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. I mean, potentially.
The first
I
part, I
think-
could see it for sure.
Yeah. I think that they do make a point to like try to show you like, look, these parents forgot their child, and like, oh shit, they're doing all they can to
Yeah.
like get back to him and like kind of like try to make it okay.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that shit? You leave your 9-year-old alone while you're in another fucking country in the
Yeah.
80s where there's no cell phones and shit? That would be crazy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But that was a concern that the producers had. Like, well, we don't want to. They wanted to make it all work and not feel, not have you think about that, which I think they did a good job of. Like, it just felt okay. You left your kid in another country, but it's fine. You're
But
doing
like,
things.
but eventually, I think when the tone changes is when the mom finally realizes she's like, what kind of mother am I? That's when you're
Yeah.
like, now she finally shows remorse, but she was just like kind of a total fucking asshole the whole time too. Like, I
Yeah,
But
don't know.
up until,
it's
like-
only the mom that realizes that. The
Yeah.
dad's just like, fuck it, I'm going
Yeah.
to France later.
We're already here. I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the mom had a little redemption for sure. The beginning, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, dude. This is
Yeah.
insane. No wonder those kids kind of shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of fucking jobs do these people have? That
Oh,
mansion's stacked, dude.
Yeah, they always do that. I feel like this is a staple 80s thing to do. put it in a gigantic house and make it seem like that's
Yeah.
just normal, you know?
Big
Yeah.
family.
But
Yeah.
what's interesting is that the house that they use for the outside, it wasn't actually big enough to like film in. So they rebuilt a house in the gym of a high school
Oh my
that
god.
had like a
Ah.
pool and shit. They like built in and out and like all around, and they basically created the sets of all the interiors in the gym, and then they would go to that house to film the outside scenes.
Uh-huh.
And so they filmed it in Chicago, which is interesting. You don't really hear too much, film being made there.
Yeah.
Um, but they were like, well, it's fucking Chicago. We're not gonna have a problem getting snow to fall because they wanted that to be real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't snow at all, and it was just warm
Yeah.
the whole shooting. And they were like, what the hell? And so they had these pagers that were basically like snow emergency pagers, and if as soon as one flake of real snow fell, they all rushed to the house to like set up and get the shots for that.
Yeah.
And that
sounds
they
stressful.
finally got it. Yeah, they were like it was basically a Christmas miracle because it was not happening.
I saw some of the practical effects that they used in the movie was during one of the snowy scenes, they used potato flakes, which is I don't know
Yeah.
what
Instead
the
of
hell that
snow?
is. Yeah.
Instead of
and
snow.
So they like
What the fuck?
blew it in with a fan and like potato flakes. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah. I think that's
that
the cool
was one of the
thing
scenes.
about the low budget is you gotta be crafty with that shit, you know?
Yeah.
I heard that as well. This was on I'm just like spewing the documentary back at everybody, but
Yeah, I'm interested, bro. I didn't see
um,
it.
yeah, basically the flakes were funny because they had to use them for a couple days, and so they were like after the second day, the whole set just smelled like rotting vegetables because that's literally what was
Oh
everywhere.
shit. That's
But
terrible.
they did get the real snow in the end, so
That's
That's
terrible.
cool. I never like thought about it during the movie as like if it's real or not.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if
And
you ever
then
need to
Good
make
job.
snow, potato flakes.
yeah. And then like during like all the violent parts, like where all the people were getting hurt, like they made sure it was like super safe. Even the scene where Kevin's like almost about to get hit by the car, by the van,
Oh my god.
like
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
It's actually shot in reverse. So the car
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah,
that's
and they
cool.
just reversed it, yeah. So
It's
like
like
just little things like that just to make sure that everybody was safe, like all the glass stepping and all that stuff. He was wearing like prosthetic feet and stuff like that. And it was like sugar glass and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, I was wondering
Right.
about the ice while watching it. I was like, you can hurt yourself pretty easy. Just slipping on
Yeah,
ice like that.
those were actually
Those
stunt
were
doubles.
Oh,
that was
okay.
real.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that was
Wow.
real
And they were
slipping.
like, we didn't have VFX at this time, so these
Mm.
dudes were literally just jumping and falling on their
Hurting
backs and
themselves. Oh my
yeah.
god. Falling
The most
downstairs and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
God.
One of the crazier effects that they did was when Kevin shoots the dude in the face with a BB gun. The guy who did the effects hand drew the BB on each frame of
Holy
the
shit.
shot
Wow. He did really
to
good. I
get
didn't
in his
even
head, and they bounce it off,
Wow.
and they just play it fast. It's like stop animation. Yeah,
would have never
That's
guessed.
crazy.
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
yeah. Once it's slowed down, you're like, okay, that looks kind of crap, but like,
Yeah.
you're not looking for that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
effects were really good.
In that documentary, they talk more about the stunts and how the stunt doubles were just like, yeah, whatever, yeah, we'll do it. And it's, like just falling, jumping and falling, right? Like they get
Yeah.
air and then they fall on their backs. So apparently that's become known as the Home Alone, like in the stunt world, if you have to do a move like that.
Mm,
And it's like a lot safer now, and they have like built-in cushioning to the floors and stuff. But then they were actually falling on the cement, right?
Jeez.
And so the dude who was filming, like actually running the camera, had never done a movie really before, and he was like, "I'm worried about these scenes because what if something happens and we can only do one take?" Like, so he set up a bonus camera that was just it got all of it, like a wide shot, get everything just in case. And over time, he was realizing that the bonus camera was actually the better angle, like to see everything. And it was a really small camera. And so he was like, well, maybe we can use this in other ways. And so the scene where where he goes down the zip line, like that's the bonus cam just rolling down the zip line, like all these things that they did to as like a just in case became a like very forefront, like, no, this is actually a cool thing to do. Like the scene where he's on the ice rink going through the legs, that was the
Yeah.
bonus cam, you know, getting all those angles and getting those like hard to reach places became a really good thing.
That's awesome. God damn it.
But they
Yeah.
had to think of all this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It just makes me
And
want to
it-
be
and
on a
it-
movie
and it
set,
doesn't-
dude. And just
Yeah.
figure shit
Yeah.
out like that.
But
So
the thing
cool.
is that those things don't exist anymore. Like, I mean,
Right.
hardly. It's far
Yeah.
and few between nowadays.
Got
True.
smaller
that's what's, like-
cameras and drones
yeah.
and shit. They're just fucking sick.
And that's what like makes this age pretty well 30 years later. You're not really noticing anything. You can sometimes see the body doubles. Did you guys notice that a little bit? Like Joe Pesci all of a sudden loses like 30 pounds. Like,
And he becomes taller.
yeah, and he's
Yeah.
just like that stuff is like kind of hard to like match. I
Yeah,
bet we
true.
would probably have a better time doing that today, but like it was fine. Like I thought some of
Yeah.
that stuff was really good.
Yeah.
Right, for
I
sure.
mean, real will always translate well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it didn't feel like, I mean, okay, nah, that's a lie. If I didn't know that it was filmed in 1990, I would think it was an 80s movie.
I thought it was until you said that. I didn't look
Yeah.
up much apparently.
I mean, I get that it's like the first year, 1990,
Yeah,
but
Yeah, I would've
probably
guessed,
was
like,
filmed
88,
mostly
89,
80s, right?
so-
89,
yeah.
right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it would have
Yeah.
taken place that time. Yeah, it felt that way, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't think
In
I'd
a good
heard it.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that good 80s warm feeling way.
Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty, boys. What makes this movie so Christmassy?
I don't
I
know,
mean,
all
it's
the
like on
Christmas
Christmas.
songs, all the snow.
Okay.
They are going on Christmas vacation.
This is like Die Hard
Um,
for children, or what?
Kind of.
Maybe.
I think It's the same reason. It just happens during
It
Christmas.
just
I
happens
guess.
during Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying
Has nothing to do with
Christmas
Santa
songs?
Claus or reindeer or any of that shit. So
I mean-
what's so Christmassy about it?
At least they float the like, you know, you should make amends with your son and have a Christmas day as a family with the old guy. But it's like a very side quest thing, you know.
Side quest.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm picking bones here. I feel like this is more Christmassy than Die Hard is.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like
At the very least, like, you know, even the
Yeah.
music, there's way more Christmas music in this than there was in Die Hard. Like,
True.
it
For
just has
sure.
that. Yippee-ki-yay, you filthy animal. There we
Nice.
go. I like that. Yeah. Wow, Jacqueline says that sadness and crime make it.
destroying
Sadness and
someone's
crime
feet.
make it a Christmas movie. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, okay. I feel like it's more Christmassy. I just had to.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
gonna have to have this conversation a little bit.
No, I think it should come up in each one of these Christmas episodes
Yeah,
because
what
it's
makes it-
valid.
But this is like nostalgia factor alone with this movie is just like this movie is like a 10 in nostalgia. Like when I think of nostalgic things, this comes up on the list of just nostalgia. Like it's just like insanely nostalgic.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of
And I
people.
forgot a lot of what goes on in this movie, but like just like the setup and the delivery
Mhm.
is pretty much fun. It's fun every time.
Yeah.
He's a little
Yeah.
annoying as you get older, and I'm just like, sorry, Jay, you have a kid now, but I'm like, I don't want any of these shitty ass kids. These little shitty kids. But yeah, I don't know. The
Yeah.
delivery is so fun.
It felt really good. I think that honestly, I think Macaulay Culkin did a great job as a child actor here.
Yeah, I did too.
He was really natural. And you don't realize like I think that maybe a lot of people I definitely used to think that like, you know, actors had like an easy job or whatever. They were just coasting through life, blah blah blah, bullshit, this and that. But it's actually pretty hard to like be in front of a camera and
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like you're not, and be
Yeah.
natural and
Yeah,
stuff.
just rewind to the intro of this episode and you'll see how fucking awful.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to think through all those things and be 9 years old or however old he was, pretty young,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the
is really
star of the
interesting.
movie too.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
Um,
trying to say that he deserves to do drugs because he had it so hard?
was that what happened
my
to him
God.
after? I don't know anything
Like-
about what happened
Jesus
after.
Oh
Christ.
yeah, Macaulay Culkin was like all cracked out for a moment.
Really?
there, but
Dude,
anyways,
I'm
yeah.
sure it
I
fucks
mean,
you up
Child
in some
star,
way, dude.
the child star progression was.
Have you guys
was-
seen the
was
Shia
right there.
LaBeouf thing that he made? I hesitate to
made?
call it a documentary, but it's like
Honey Boy.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet.
I mean, the trend seems to be that child stars burn out later, and
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Doesn't
get
mean
fucked
that
over by
they-
their parents more often than not.
yeah,
money.
like do they deserve to a life of doing drugs and shit? I don't know, but I'm sure they had a lot of fun making the movies when they were kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe not. I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, for
But
this one, it seemed
Macaulay-
like he did for sure. At
Yeah,
least this
Macaulay
one.
Culkin. It's got to be one of the best names to say. Macaulay
a good name.
Culkin.
Yeah.
He eventually like the weird like character progression is like it's pretty good character progression because he's like an annoying little shit. And he's like, you know what? I'm the man now. Unless you feel like a man. And he's like, he's like, I'm not scared anymore.
He embraces the
it's-
challenge, dude.
Yeah,
It's
he
so
embraces
good.
the challenge.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he becomes this freaking sage wizard. And he's giving advice to this old ass man. He's like, you should just go talk to your son because what's the worst he can say is no. It's like those memes. It's like, like, what's the worst you could say? She's like, you. Anyway,
Ew.
sorry, that's side meme talk there. But yeah, like freaking Macaulay Culkin is like wise beyond his years. All of a sudden, I'm just like, that's like the craziest character progression I've seen in a while. Like I'm like this kid all of a sudden just is like dropping some sage knowledge on people. I'm like, all right, but
He had time to think, dude. He was alone a long time. No.
He's just sitting there and watching Johnny Carson, just like smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes, getting all old, and just like, I'm a man now.
I loved how he went from everyone thought he was worthless to grocery shopping to giving old man advice. And then when they all came home, they were like, oh my God, you grocery shopped? Like they were so surprised that he did that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
funny.
And
That
the
scene was
weird,
fun too.
yeah, and like the weird thing is like, they like kind of mentioned it. Well, with the very last scene, it was just like, hey, my room. But it was like, dude, there was
Fucking
there,
destroyed.
Oh yeah.
there was like massive water damage from the wet bandits. Like they fucking plugged up his sink too. And there was water going down into the basement. I'm just like, homie, just like what cleaned the entire 4,000 square foot mansion by himself before his parents come home because he
Dude,
knew that was gonna happen. Like that was I don't know.
the
Not that it has to
fucking
be
wet
super realistic,
bandit.
but it was just like.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. When they got back, I was like, dude, your room is fucking destroyed. And then I was like, are they going to dress it? And then he finally was like, what did you do to my room? All like, not even that mad. I
Yeah.
was like, dude, you fucked all your shit up.
I
Stole
loved
all
the
your
Wet
money.
Bandits. The Wet Bandits was the humor that I love the most in this movie. Like that whole thing was just like ridiculous, right? That's my calling card. I leave their faucet on.
Yeah.
After burglaring them.
Just ruin their
Hilarious.
fucking house on the way
Yeah.
down.
Where they're that first house, like he's just like has a crowbar and he's like grabbing all the stuff and like putting it in a bag. He's like, it's so fucking funny. It's really
And
funny.
then the other piece of humor that was similar to that was how every time somebody would drive up to the house, they would hit that statue.
God, that cracked me up every time, dude.
So
Oh, I
funny.
missed
Every
that.
time.
That was some straight up police squad shit right there, dude.
The
So
pizza
good.
guy trying to fix it. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, every time. That was great.
the progression of him just like watching the old school movies, is that a real movie or is that
I don't
is that
think
like
so.
fake for this movie?
Fuck, I feel like I knew this and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's
This is
not
this
real.
should be definitely should have been a trivia question that we needed. But well, like just the progression of like him being because he has a little bit of fear when he watches the movie. He's like it's kind of crazy, and then eventually it like becomes like his little go-to, and he uses it a couple different times for the Pizza Kid
Yeah.
and for one of the Wet Bandits, and it's just like
It's fucking Prodigy
hilarious.
video editor, dude. Just pause it, fast forwards perfectly.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Had 'em
that's
all
funny.
ready.
And I'm just like,
Apparently-
okay, like they have like a badass sound system or what? I'm like, how can they actually hear this? And like, why are they so scared of this? Like
The gunshots are like falling over.
Gunshots,
Oh
I'm
my
like-
god.
the
Dude.
fireworks was a good touch, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
yeah.
That was great. The first one where it's like the pizza guy and he literally runs around the entire house to like the gunshot noises. I was like, okay, dude, come on.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
apparently it's fake.
Yeah.
The movie is not
Space
real.
movies.
It's like inspired heavily by some other real movie, but
Angels with Dirty Faces.
That'll be
Alonso
it.
says
yep.
Oh, nice.
the fact checker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Like they got to make that little thing for this movie
Mhm.
too. You know.
That was
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
fun too, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Also-
style. A lot of
yeah.
style. Yeah.
And lots of fun like challenges or whatever if you want to call them
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's just like just a lot of generally just clever things that go on in this movie and just kind of just like I don't know the little party that he has going on with Michael Jordan on the train walking around and like he's like dancing
So
and
good.
pulling one of the mannequins and stuff like that. Like that's
Yeah.
just like so funny and like just super clever. Super clever.
Yeah, this kid is really smart.
Yes. Stupid ass kid is really smart.
Yeah.
What
that seems
what
to be
else?
a
What
trend.
else is there? What else is
I
there?
feel like okay, so we were
Trying to
talking about
think.
the neighbor. That whole scene in
Mhm.
the church caught me off guard so bad. That was like the one thing I feel like that I just had no recollection of at all.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
it was happening, I was like, oh my god. I was like getting emotional a little bit. I was like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah.
The-
That was so that wasn't in the original script that the original dude wrote.
Hmm.
Chris Columbus wrote that in and then sent it to him and he was like, I changed this. And the guy like hated changes and he was like, all right, fine. And so he changed it again, sent it back, and then Chris Columbus changed it again and sent it back to eventually they landed on what we saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little weird. It felt like real, you know, felt like that was someone going through that who was just like, I just need to get this out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was spot on, I felt.
It was interesting because like that was what was so weird about Kevin's character progression because he stole the fucking toothbrush and he was like I sinned so he had to go to the place
Oh
to
my
get
God.
cleansed. That's
didn't
what it
realize
was.
that.
He went
Yeah.
to church because he was so down on himself. He's like I'm a thief. Like he's like I got to go to church. So he went to church and he's just like fuck and then he's just like oh shit this guy's here too. Who am I to judge this guy? At that point, like that's
Yeah.
what changes his mind, and all of a sudden he just like becomes this sage prodigy.
Yeah,
like
dude. He
just
confronts his
like,
fears
it's
a
so
bunch in this
crazy,
movie, which is
Yeah,
really cool
it's
for like a
interesting.
kid to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With the old guy in the furnace and all this stuff is like, he's like, no, I'm gonna fucking do it, man. I'm the man in the house. Like,
Yeah.
I have to.
yeah,
It's really good. And then when it brings it back at the end, when he looks out the window and sees the old man with actually meeting his son,
Yeah.
that was what got me. I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
They-
That
pretty
part
cool.
was making. I was like, damn, am I feeling? And then that John Williams like music
yeah.
comes in, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling like it's so perfect, and you're like, fuck, you know why this is classic? You know why like it's at that point you're just like it has everything. And then it just sprinkles that sadness. I guess that's what Jacqueline says. The cherry on
Yeah.
Sure,
top of a Christmas movie is just a little bit of sadness. A little bit of wholesome. You're just like a little schmidgen.
Wholesome
That's good.
tears.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like you're saying, when it all comes together with the John Williams and everything, yeah, the
Yeah.
tears just fall out of your face.
Yeah.
It's feels.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think that times are weird and hard right now, and uh, it was it. I had parallels to that whole, side quest thing. Um,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was good. It, I felt that, and so that's
Mhm.
always a marking of a good movie for me. If I can connect to something personally like that,
Yeah.
but and not have it be like super generic. I think it was a little generic, but they still
And
tried.
but that's the thing is like, is it generic because it's transcended that classic thing, or
Yeah.
was this
Is it
what
generic or is it like defining?
yeah, is
the-
this what everyone else is copying? Like I don't, and I
Right.
honestly I can't answer that question, but
I
but
feel
I
like,
think that's what you're saying is like
yeah,
this movie has a little bit of relatability in all ages, like you were saying earlier. Like if you're the old man, you probably can relate. Like,
right.
if you're a young kid, yeah, your parents fucking suck sometimes. Like that's like it's everyone has a little bit of something writing in this movie, which is like
Yeah.
rare, I think sometimes.
I think rare to do well with, right?
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
trying to appeal to all these different people.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I think that's right. And I think that this is something that we've been asking ourselves kind of a lot in the last few episodes. It's like, well, maybe this is the thing that made this.
Oh yeah.
And
We have been, yeah.
maybe it's getting a little baseless. We should start investigating those
Maybe
claims.
we should stop being so fucking lazy and do. Oh my god.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is that. It feels
Yeah,
like it. It feels like it could be, I guess. And
For
maybe that's good
sure.
enough. If
the
it feels like
first
it
of
could
its
be,
kind.
yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know.
Because yeah,
If you
just
guys know, let us know at filmfumblers.com and email us.
yeah.
Do our research for us, preferably before the episode airs.
Just like, hey guys, make sure you guys touch this, this, and that. Could you imagine? I bet you some big podcasts
For sure, dude.
get some
Oh
of that
yeah,
shit done.
like
Damn,
research teams.
we need to make it, guys. Come on, somebody out there.
Yeah, I agree though. I feel like because it's so iconic, it's hard not to think that something about it was like defining, like you were saying, instead of just generic. Like something about this must have stuck with the people who first watched it that made us fucking watch it later in life, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Cultural touchstone for Christmas.
It's always a good Christmas, Christmas goal. Well, anybody got anything else? I'll say this. I didn't actually finish the documentary that I was watching earlier today.
Mhm.
But it was really cool, and they do a lot of different episodes on a lot of different movies. So
Is that
if y'all are
the
bored,
that made
Is it on
us
Disney
or
Plus?
whatever?
it's on Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
I
that.
saw
so
that
they
today. Has like
yeah,
elf and shit.
there's the movies that made us, which is like a season, I guess you can call it, of that. And then there's the holiday movies that made us, which is a different season. And Home Alone's actually in the first one.
Oh
But the
shit.
second one has only has 2 episodes so far, so I think they're dropping them every week or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they were good. It was good.
Damn, I should watch that. That sounds really good, really cool. I don't know,
Any
man.
other dying thoughts?
The only thing I've left is kind of irrelevant, really. It's just when the mom calls the cops and how fucking awful and useless they are. I was like, some things never change.
30
Yeah.
years later, it's the same shit.
They've passed it
It's
back
so
and forth.
funny, dude. Like, and that's what's like, and like that timeless shit, because it was stuff that happened then. It's stuff that happened when they were young. Like, it's just, is your children just swallow poison like this and that? And it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
nope,
And
you got to
they're
call this
fine.
person. Yeah.
that scripted response to just pass the buck again. Yeah, they swallow
Just knock
poison,
on the
get
window.
electrocuted,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But
Scripted ass responses. That's funny. And then okay, when that guy was just like, "You want us to check on your kid? He's alone." And then I was just kind of thinking, yeah, what is the big deal? But it's like what makes it a big deal is that they're like in another country, like because
Right.
it
Do they not
wouldn't
have
be
a
that
house
big of a
phone
deal.
though?
The power went out, remember?
The phone was jacked up.
Oh,
The
they cut
power
it.
went
Because of the
somebody
power.
Wet bandits cut it, right?
no,
Oh,
somebody hit the light post and it turned out the
was that
whole
what it
street,
was?
didn't they? Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
then some
Somehow the power
electric
got
company
cut.
came and then there was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
They
Okay.
do explain it all,
they
which
do
is kind of
explain it.
interesting. But yeah.
There you go. Good movie
Yeah,
to
and
thought out.
that's what I was saying. No cell phones at this time.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
like,
not that a 9-year-old would have one, right? Maybe, probably, actually. Fuck.
These
in today,
motherfuckers
in
obviously
2020,
rich.
yeah, in
You're
They're
right.
2020, that
rich.
9-year-old would definitely have.
You got an iPhone
Dude,
12.
let's just make a newly updated Home Alone, a
It's
smart house
definitely
Dude,
edition.
when you brought up the
you
iPads and
already know
stuff, I
it's gonna
thought about
happen.
that.
You
Yeah.
already
Like,
know it's
the
gonna happen.
Wi-Fi's out. I can't call my mom or some shit. I don't know.
It just isn't gonna if they ever try to do it, it's just which is why would you do it?
They
It's just
will,
not gonna
dude.
hit the same. Yeah, of
Yeah, it
course they're
would
gonna
feel
do it.
very bad.
Of course they're gonna do it. Apparently there's 4 of these movies, by the way.
4, I thought there was 3.
Wow.
It's like how many fucking times
Well, when it
are you gonna
slams in the
leave your
box
child
office,
alone? Yeah.
you gotta just keep going.
And the third one is a different kid. It's like, well, who wants to watch this? It's not even Macaulay Culkin.
Kids
Oh,
grow up, man.
it's true.
Now it's him doing it to his own kids.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
it's time for you
Dude,
to get left home,
they-
you little shit.
If they or when they do remake this movie, I guarantee they're gonna try to get him as a parent, dude. That's actually funny.
Oh my God, dude. We're gonna see
He's
a
got
Spider-Man
he's like
situation.
he's like 38, 40.
He's gonna call his
probably 40
kids.
right now.
Do you set up the pink heads on the stairs? Do you get all this shit set up? I don't know.
Macaulay.
Joe Pesci will be the old man. He'll have some
neighbor.
relationship.
Oh,
Oh jeez.
he is 40 years old.
That's insane. Actually, feels weird. Is Joe Pesci still alive? I guess I should ask.
Yeah, he was
for-
in that new movie. The
The
Irishman.
Irishman.
Nice.
The Irishman. Yeah.
He's 77. He could play the role of the neighbor perfectly. He'd be
Dude,
good.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci is so good at acting. I hate every character that he fucking plays, dude.
Why?
He's just good
Oh,
at
you just
being
like
a slimy motherfucker every time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, his fucking gold tooth or silver tooth.
That-
Oh, it's so
that
funny.
little
It's so
clean.
funny.
That's
I think
perfect.
that was also one of those hand drawn dings.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing about his thing, he had just come off of like, series of gangster movies basically. And he was saying that he was so used to just like constantly cussing because of those movies.
That's what I noticed. Like he was like, oh shh. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like, you little creep. I'm calling him creep. I was like, who calls a kid a creep?
Yeah.
Weird.
So he said that when he was reading this script, he was just inserting fucks and shits into random places
Just on
because he was like,
impulse.
yeah, he was like, I'm so used to it being either a Scorsese script or just constantly saying those words. And so when they were filming, he would like cuss and they would have to cut and stop and redo it.
Just like,
And
damn
so
it,
he-
Joe.
Yeah, he eventually just had to make his own like language. So like when he gets I forget what happens to him, but when they're both at the back door and they both get fucked up basically and come back out and see each other, he's like, he just says a bunch of gibberish. Yeah,
It's
that
so
was
funny.
because if he didn't do that, he would probably be cussing. They like force him to just like say
Hold it
things
in.
frustratingly that don't make any sense. So that's what he did.
Dude,
so
that's
good.
That's hilarious. Like just being like typecasted for like so long, like you just like fuck, I can't even say fuck anymore. Like
Yeah. There's
that's
like
incredible.
bloopers where
That's
he's like,
incredible.
"Go get your parents, you little and you just have to like stop every.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
He's good. He's really good. He's really good. He's really good. Between them and Macaulay Culkin, like that's like enough entertainment to go around, and that's what makes this movie special.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All the layers, a little bit of flavor everywhere.
All the
Little bit of flavor.
insane violence that happens to these poor motherfuckers. Maybe not poor, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
There's a
the 8-year-old's a little sadistic. Like he's like, damn, this could do some damage.
that nail
Yeah.
I'm gonna
goes
use some
through
of
his
this
foot, dude.
tire.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was like, ugh. That was rough.
I was like more
Yeah.
feet damage in Christmas movies. Again, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no
Maybe
shoes.
we'll keep it up
scene.
next week.
Directed by Quentin Tarantino.
I knew that was gonna be coming.
But dude,
Um,
okay, one more thing about them. I swear there's a Mythbusters about this movie, right? It's
Oh,
like
really?
those paint cans. Like if they did a
Oh.
Mythbusters about the paint can, like all these different things, but the paint cans, that would actually just kill you in real life. Like they were like,
damn.
yeah, you would be dead from this.
100% that iron. That iron fell
Oh
like
yeah.
that was like a 4-story house.
was-
It fell
yeah.
from the 4th story. Like he was in the basement. That thing freaking
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
thing,
it's like
that
these
thing
dudes
whacked him.
got out lucky somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real
Honestly.
tarantula, by the way.
On
Oh
his
my
That
God.
face,
that
dude.
scream that he screams
That was blood
is
curdling.
insane. That is like the most insane scream I think I've heard in a movie. Like
Yeah.
it is so loud. It was crazy.
They talk
Macaulay
about it a
Culkin
little bit,
screams
too.
on the other hand, kind of too much, but
They that scene, the hands with the aftershave. Yeah, that was improv, and the
Was it
scream they really liked.
that was improv. How did he?
Yeah.
not
Was he
burn?
actually in
Wait, did he
pain?
actually burn himself?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. But the fact that he put his hands up and just kept them there and was like yelling, that wasn't like in the script, and they were like that was such a like little kid thing to do that they just kept it because it was
Oh,
like,
three
and it's an
fucking times.
iconic moment,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But all the screams they talked about really liking. Like everybody did a really great job at screaming in this movie, which saying it out loud, I'm like, that doesn't seem so hard. But then thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that seems pretty hard.
For a
How you gonna-
non-horror movie too.
Yeah, how do you get a good scream that fits?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, put a tarantula on your face or something.
That
Yeah,
one was
exactly.
like I've never heard a scream like that. That scream was like that was a good one. That was a really good scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that feels like a pretty good rounding out there.
Yeah, we got all the meat and potatoes in the plate there.
And potato shavings. What was it? Fuck.
Potato flakes.
Flakes.
James.
Potato flakes. Like, what does that even mean? Corn flakes, but they're potatoes.
Yeah, I don't get. Do you like just shave the potatoes or something?
Are they brown?
How does that
We
work?
just can't tell.
I think they get it like in the, the potato
I
itself.
mean, they're kind of like tan a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it works. Okay. Shall we?
Let's rate.
Bad
Let's
boy?
rate this thing.
I don't want to go first, so I'm just gonna say.
Nose goes.
Oh, okay.
Guess
Easy.
we'll go. Okay. Classic fucking movie, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, we've done so many episodes now. I want to just say, like, oh, I've seen this the most out of all of them and all this shit. But, like, watching it again, like, as an adult for the first time, I think, was really good, dude. It was a fucking blast. Like, all the acting was so much fun. All the feels with the neighbor, dude. I did not expect that. I was caught so off guard by that shit. It was so good. I don't know. Like you were saying, the intro was like super good. Just setting everything up is like, what's his name? Kevin that's his name of the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like he just does not want to be in this house. He's like the outcast of his gigantic fucking family. And he's just, every kid is just like, I just want to live in this house alone. I feel like that's like a decently common thing, right?
One quote he says real quick. He says, "When I get married, I'm gonna live alone." It's like when you get married, like it's like he's just a dumb kid. He's literally just saying
That's
shit.
funny.
Like I had a good laugh at that. Sorry, go ahead.
But just that, I feel like it's pretty common that just like fantasy of like running your own house, like having all that responsibility, and then he actually gets it and deals with it so fucking well. It's just like nice, dude. Holy shit. Um, I don't know. Everything we said, man. The stunts, everything is good. Everything is good. I don't even know what to say bad about this movie. And my scores even reflect that sentence at all. I'll give it just a solid 8. Solid fucking 8.
Okay,
Solid 8.
that's fair.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's fair too.
What do you want, James?
I can go next. Yeah, like when you think of classic, this is like probably top 5 in the list. Like when you're just thinking of classic movies, definitely in our age group. But yeah, this movie super surprising rewatching it. Was kind of annoyed with it. I thought I wasn't gonna like it as much as I did when you guys talk about the beginning. Like I was like, this is so annoying.
I was in
Like
the same boat, honestly.
I was like, I understood. Like I was like, it's supposed to be hectic, and I was like, I was just like, everyone here sucks. And then I was like, okay, well maybe this is over exaggerated view from Kevin here. So I was like, maybe, he's kind of hallucinating the the furnace talking to him and stuff like that. So that's where I first got that thought, like, okay, this is kind of, built up in his head. But yeah, I don't know. I think just when you get the right mood with that John Williams symphony and that last scene hits with the old man and his family, and you're just like, fuck, you're just like, man, it like gives you a second to just think, like, you know what, life's too short to be like a fucking Scrooge
Yeah.
and a Grinch, and that's just like, I don't know, like this, and that's what's like kind of crazy about this movie is just like all the layers of it, just like you can revisit it at probably multiple points in your life, and you're gonna find something that you just like love about it.
Hell yeah.
And for that, like, it's just like it's. Ooh, I don't even know my score. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. 8.6. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know if I believe that.
Nice.
Maybe it was supposed to be higher. I don't know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. But
That's good.
like it's just this movie just has those layers, and it was a lot better than I thought it would have been.
Yeah.
Jay, take it away.
Yeah, I largely agree with both you guys. I think that when I was watching the movie, I got that sense of like, okay, here we go. And then when it kicked in, even just, and it kicks in pretty quickly.
Yeah, you're like, I've seen this shit a million times. Like,
Yeah.
what's the big deal? We don't even have to watch it. Let's just review it.
Yeah. And then it kicks in and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember why this movie is so big. Like it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you hit it right on the head, James, with that each time you revisit it, as you get older, like a different part will appeal to you, which I think is really cool. Like that's one of those, that's the definition of a classic, right? Like in any medium, film, books, whatever.
Yeah.
Things that you can revisit later and get something new from it.
Yeah, new take.
Yeah, they'll always be good in my book. Like that's a baseline, it's auto above a 7 for me just off that alone. So when I came into it, I was not really sure what my rating would be, and I was kind of waiting to hear both of yours to like, get a sense. But I think I largely agree. I think the plot is, or the story is funny. It's good. It's told really well. It's acted really well. It stands the test of time. Barring a few like random brand things that just naturally will age out. But like the documentary I think really helped me connect more with it or just like feel a different way towards it.
Yeah,
the
I
fact
wish
that
I
they
would
were
have
just
watched it.
Me too.
yeah,
That
the
sounds
fact
super
that they were just like coming up with all these things to make this movie happen. I mean, that's cool. When you have a project like that, um, that's always cool to me. So maybe that sways my score a little bit. I think I'm gonna land right near James on an 8.7. Um, it's a great movie. It's fun. It's a classic. It's
Yeah.
it's a great choice.
Yeah,
Excellent choice.
I totally forgot about
it's
it.
up
And
there.
when I got chose last week, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Agreed.
person who chose it wrote in chat right away that they've never seen it.
wait, what? No, I thought he meant just like for
By the
this.
way. What do you mean? I don't
Like
know. I
this
thought he
week.
said he never. Oh, he didn't watch it this week. I
That's
thought
what
he
I
never
thought.
watched it ever at all.
That'd be
Oh,
kind of
okay.
crazy.
That would be pretty nuts.
He's just like
All right,
that one.
side thing. Yeah, I think the more I kept talking about this movie, the more I like built myself up for it. Like I was like, no, this movie actually is pretty freaking sick. Like
Yeah, the score I wrote
everything
down
that
versus what I
goes on.
said,
Like I was,
it went up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was almost in a 9 territory. Like it was that,
I was almost I did what did I say 8.6 yeah
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was in the 8.8 area. I was like
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Weird.
but
Weird how that happened.
So on average, we are an 8.4, the three of us.
we
Pretty
are
good.
at an 8.4
Solid.
solid movie. What did you guys think about this movie? Let us know in the comments on YouTube, Instagram, filmfumblers.com. You can email us at filmfumblers@gmail.com.
Give us that research on the email.
Yeah.
Research. Do some research for us so we don't have to do too much. Come on, guys. We got real jobs. Jay's got a kid. Come on.
Just give me some
We
fun
don't got time for
facts.
this.
Yeah, that next movie again is
The next movie is Edward Scissorhands, and whether or not you believe that's a Christmas movie, we don't care. You better be here next Saturday to defend yourself in the chat at twitch.tv/filmfumblers. But for us, that is it for tonight. Cheers.
Yeah.
cheers. Don't forget that
Peace.
research.
Oh, yeah.